Jai Hind children, welcome to another section of our chemistry class. We are continuing with chapter combustion and flame. In previous class we have discussed about combustion, ignition temperature and fuel. Today we shall discuss how do we control fire. You know that air, fuel and heat are the three basic requirements needed for combustion. So by eliminating any of this, we can control fire. Let's see how we can control fire. The first requirement for combustion is oxygen. So by cutting the supply of oxygen, we can control fire. So the first thing we can do is by cutting the supply of oxygen, we can control fire. The second best fire extinguisher is water. Water is the most common fire extinguisher. Water brings the temperature of combustible material below its ignition temperature and cuts the supply of air. But water cannot be used if electrical equipments are on fire because water is a good conductor of electricity. So in such cases, we use carbon dioxide as the fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide, being heavier than oxygen, covers the fire like a blanket. Hence, the supply of oxygen will be cut. So carbon dioxide and water are good fire extinguishers. Carbon dioxide is used when electrical equipment catches fire. Combustion is the reaction of a substance with oxygen to produce heat and light. There are different types of combustion. The first one is rapid combustion. In rapid combustion, the material burns rapidly and produces heat and light in a short period of time. LPG burning is an example for rapid combustion. Burning of paper is also an example for rapid combustion. Here, huge amount of heat and light is produced. Second type is spontaneous combustion. Here the material bursts into flame without the application of any apparent cause. Burning of phosphorus, burning of sodium, forest fires, fires in coal mines are all examples for this. Third one is explosion. During explosion, a huge amount of heat, light and sound is also produced. A large amount of gas is also liberated during explosion. So explosion is also a type of combustion. Slow combustion, burning of wood, spontaneous combustion, rapid combustion and explosion. These are all different types of combustion. Now let's study about flame. The substances which vaporize during burning gives flames. There are different types of flames. Have you noticed the difference between the burning of a candle and burning of an LPG stove? Both of it produces flame, isn't it? But an LPG stove produces a blue clear flame, whereas the candle flame is not so clear. It is yellowish in color and not so clear. So flames are of two types, luminous flame and non-luminous flame. Luminous flames produce light. Example, candle. Candle flame produces light. It is yellow in color and it is not clear. Whereas LPG flame is non-luminous flame. It does not produce light. It is clear flame and is blue in color. So there are two types of flame, luminous flame and non-luminous flame. Let's study the structure of flame using a candle flame. A flame has three parts: outermost part, middle part and innermost part. Outermost part is the non-luminous part. It is due to the complete combustion. So the outermost part is non-luminous and it is the clear part. It produces blue flame. It is the hottest part of a flame. So outer part is the non-luminous part. It is the hottest part and it is due to the complete combustion. It is light blue in color. Then the middle part. Middle part is yellowish in color. It is moderately hot part. Then the innermost part. Innermost part is the least hot area of the flame. So outer part is the most or the hottest part, and the inner part is the least hot part. The inner part is due to incomplete combustion and therefore it produces soot. So a flame has three parts. Outer part is the hottest part and inner part is the least hot part. In between this there is a middle part which is moderately hot. These are the different zones of a candle flame. So a candle flame has a luminous and a non-luminous part. The source of producing heat energy is called fuels. We use various fuels for domestic and industrial purpose. Let's see the characteristic of a good fuel. A good fuel is one which is readily available, that is cheap, that burns easily and produces large amount of heat and does not leave any undesirable particle. We should look for a fuel which fulfills most of the requirement for a particular use. The efficiency of fuel or fuel efficiency is measured in terms of calorific value. It is the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kilogram of fuel. These are the calorific values of some common fuels we are using. We can see that LPG has a high calorific value of 55,000, which is high compared to wood or coal. That is why we use LPG for domestic purposes and LPG become a preferred fuel than wood. Burning of fuels leads to many harmful products. Let's discuss about fuels and environment. Most of the carbon fuels like wood, coal, petroleum, etc. release unburnt carbon particles which causes respiratory disease such as asthma. The second impact is global warming. Combustion of most fuels release carbon dioxide in the environment. Increased concentration of carbon dioxide will lead to global warming. Global warming is another impact of burning fuels. Then acid rain. Burning of coal and diesel release sulfur dioxide gases. It is an extremely suffocating and corrosive gas. Oxides of sulfur and nitrogen dissolves in rainwater and forms acid. Such rain is called acid rain. Acid rain is also an impact of burning fossil fuels. The use of diesel and petrol as fuels in automobiles can be replaced by compressed natural gas. It is a much cleaner fuel than petrol and diesel. With this, we came to the end of this chapter. Read the textbook and try to find out the answers. Thank you.